I didn't actually think this was frozen, but it's black ice. There's no frost on it. I guess there's a sort of slight layer of dampness on top of the ice, which makes it even more slippery. So it's going to be a really good test for the winter tyres. But basically all of this road surface is completely ice. It's -4 according to the Tesla outside temperature thingy here. And yesterday I had new winter tyres fitted to this car, the Michelin PA4 Pilot Alpines. And this video I'm going to explain why I went for those instead of the CrossClimate, which is the kind of sensible UK tyre choice. When I had the Model 3 before this, I actually put CrossClimates on that, and it was immediately obvious that that is a tyre that isn't designed for a car that is as heavy and powerful as a Tesla. So in this car I wanted to try an ultra high performance winter tyre instead and see if that was kind of what I needed to get. So these definitely feel a lot better to drive than the CrossClimate on the Tesla. Much more direct feedback and less squirminess than the CrossClimate. So far I'm really pleased with these. Now annoyingly there aren't any EV specific winter tyres available in the UK for this car yet. I know Hankook have got a really nice range of EV specific tyres and I would have loved to have tried that, but I couldn't see anywhere in the UK selling those yet. It always strikes me as being quite interesting that you can drive on surfaces that you can't walk on with the right tyres. I don't think most people would realise that they're actually driving over ice here until they have to try and stop. Definitely really slippery. Just you can lock the wheels up and you hear the ABS kicking in straight away. So I did a few tests of just putting the acceleration down as well as a kind of fast stopping, and you can kind of just see exactly how that behaved on there. Interestingly, if you know you're on the ice and you're being a little bit careful, you can kind of just drive on it just fine. Steer and accelerate and stop, and it's not a problem. In summer tyres that would have definitely been a different story. I think with winter tyres a lot of people don't often realise that actually they make a massive difference on ice. They just think, oh, it's a snow tyre. And I think a lot of people don't really realise the benefit of a winter tyre on icy surfaces. I think they sort of assume that if you hit ice it's game over. That's not the case. A winter tyre will give you much better performance on ice than a normal summer tyre or even an all-season tyre. And the naming is a little bit tricky these days because nowadays all-season tyres in the UK and Europe are used to describe this new kind of tyre that was kind of started with the CrossClimate tyre, which is a tyre that's designed to be left on all year round that does have the mountain and snowflake proper winter rating. But prior to those kinds of tyres, all-season tyres would just mean general tyres that you could leave on all season, but they didn't have any specific winter rating and were generally pretty rubbish in the winter. The little wiggly slits you get in winter tyres are called sipes. They're actually invented by a bloke who was trying to stop his boots slipping on a slaughterhouse floor. So he put slits in the soles of his shoes to draw the moisture up away from the surface to improve the grip. And it was always been my understanding that that's actually how they work on a winter tyre on ice. You know, it's the sort of microfilm of moisture on top of the ice that is the slippery thing. So if you can draw some of that away from the surface, it will improve your grip. But actually the literature and the evidence behind this is a little bit sparse. It doesn't seem that there's much conclusive evidence that this is the way sipes improve performance on ice in a winter tyre. I think it's actually the extra conformity in the tread blocks and the extra biting edges that does improve that. But I also found this article that cited a US military study that found no improvement of a sipe tyre on ice. And winter tyre manufacturers are claiming that they make their surface of the rubber have microscopic pores in to draw moisture away from the ice and use the same effect to improve grip as well. So it's not quite conclusive how winter tyres work on ice. As far as I can see, there seems to be some various ideas on that. I used to volunteer for 4x4 Response when I had my Subarus, and I've done this through a number of the Subarus that I've had. So I built up a reasonable experience with the different kinds of tyres in serious snowy conditions. Of course, being the Subaru with those kinds of tyres, the performance was amazing. You know, you could drive anywhere and they just felt invincible. And I'm hoping this car is going to have a similar kind of feeling with these tyres on now. You know, we've got reasonable ground clearance for a little bit of snow, and the all-wheel drive mode is amazing in this car. And we've seen now that they have that update that stops the regen running on the back wheels when it detects that you're in snowy conditions as well. So I think this is actually going to be an amazing snow car, and I can't wait to test that out. Of course, this approach of having dedicated winter tyres means I'm swapping them twice a year, but given that uneven tyre wear at the front to back, it's a good idea to rotate the tyres anyway. So I think if I just coincide it with that, then I'm kind of keeping on top of that job at the same time. It just means I've got to keep my off-season tyres in the garage somewhere, so they take up a bit of space. But I think overall, considering the performance impact, it means I'm running the best tyres in the winter and the best tyres in the summer. I've just got the absolute ultimate machine here now with the right tyres for the right conditions, and that's a really cool thing. Hopefully this has been useful if you're thinking that the CrossClimates would be a good option on the Model Y. I was pretty disappointed at how it made the car feel when I had them on the Model 3. I definitely recommend a decent ultra high performance winter tyre as a better option here. And if you can find an EV specific one, I think there's definitely merit in that as well. Check out this video next where I look at the security implications of using the third-party Apple Watch apps that control the Tesla from your watch. Controlling your car from your watch is a very cool thing to do, but I think a lot of people are concerned by security. So in that video I explained kind of how these apps work and why I think there's actually not really a security issue with them. I'm going to keep this channel for Tesla content only, so make sure you subscribe if you're interested in that, and I'll see you in the next video.